Okay guys, another video trying to help you to decide between two phones I get asked for quite often, and I actually didn't even expect this comparison to be asked for that often. It is Samsung Galaxy A3 2016 versus Sony Xperia Z5 Compact. And why is it so surprising? Definitely because of the price. Because the Samsung costs around 230 euros here at the moment, where the Sony is at around 370 to 400 if you want the black version. But after all, these are the two most viable legit options to get a compact phone that still delivers a great experience. So after all, the comparison makes sense maybe after all. So I would get into it with the design and build quality first. I personally prefer the smooth glass of the Samsung Galaxy A3, and that's why I give it a win. It feels also a little bit more premium and a little bit smoother, rounder in the hand. But the Sony does a great job as well. It has this frosted glass that is a little bit more slippery, but the overall in-hand feel is still great after all. You have the fingerprint reader and nice overall comfortable feel as well. It really comes down to a personal preference. Same as for the display, because we have AMOLED on the Samsung where we have IPS on the Sony. But if you want the more accurate, definitely overall better screen, also sharper seeming because of IPS than it is the Sony. The Samsung is more impressive, a little bit less sharp due to the pentametrics, but still has great colors, great brightness, perfect blacks and amazing contrast. So it's more about impressiveness or the overall still better, more right or proper display. Sound. The A3 does a great job. It sounds really rich, it sounds really loud. It is though a bottom-facing stereo or bottom-facing single speaker that a lot of people just don't like because you will have to cup them. The Sony Xperia Z5 maybe didn't quite convince me so much in terms of speaker, but therefore the compact did. For some reason it sounds noticeably louder and richer, and it has front-facing stereo speakers, so it's quite an easy win therefore, even though they are quite similar in terms of maximum volume and also balanced sound. If we talk about the headphone jack quality, then though the Samsung wins again. It is just louder and sounds overall a little bit properly balanced, which the Sony just still doesn't achieve after so many generations. They still aren't loud enough for a proper headphone, good enough for earphones, and they sound a little bit lackluster. They need a little bit optimization, which you will get though in the settings. When we talk about the performance, the A3 performs really nice for a 720p device, a good overall performance also for gaming, smooth, quite fast. Multitasking was still fine. Overall not bad. But the Sony, of course, due to the Snapdragon 810, does a better job. It has also more RAM. It is just overall a little bit more snappy, a little bit faster, a little bit more responsive. But you also have to consider that it costs pretty much double of the Samsung. So it delivers better performance, but it also costs more. So you get that as well. In terms of the battery life, I give a win to the Samsung. It was just overall better. I can't really quite remember each specific screen on times anymore, but I would have expected like I think half an hour or even an hour more on the Samsung. Both do an absolutely fine job and are amongst the better ones. And since there's not much competition, it's about that. Software, the Samsung A3 doesn't really offer the whole options that the S7 does, but it still has the bloat, and it overall has the theming engine, which is nice. So it gets the job done real nice, and I like the theming engine a lot. But I think most people will prefer the more stock Android look of Sony. But what it comes mostly down to is the update policy, because the Samsung A3, as far as I know, is still caught on 5.1.1 Lollipop, where the Sony already comes out of the box with 6.0 or even 6.0.1. I'm not quite sure what it is at the moment, but Sony definitely updates their phones a lot faster, a lot better, and I'm not quite sure if the A3 will actually get it. It should get it, but who knows when. If you talk about the cameras, after all, the better quality is on Sony's side, but I think if you want a really nice, hassle-free, without any thinking experience, the Samsung makes a great job, because the pictures are still very detailed, good for low lights, nice selfies, good video qualities, but overall it has the flagship camera on Sony's side, because it has the same camera as the Sony Xperia Z5. So overall it is a way better sensor. I'm still not the biggest fan of Sony's post-processing that could actually achieve way better pictures if they would optimize it, but in the end it has sharper pictures, it has the overall more natural tones, more better overall experience after all. It really comes down to that, but that would have been it. I hope this video helped you, and overall in the end, of course, the Sony wins the fight. But you also have to consider if it's worth paying that much more, because I think for the price of around 230, and with the cashback it was recently also already for below 200 euros. I think the A3 does an excellent job, because if you don't need the best bells and whistles but still a very high overall quality, and you can see that in my review, the Samsung should satisfy you definitely without any problems. The Sony with a price at the lowest what I've seen of around 350 is more expensive, delivers an overall better experience. But you also have to decide if you want the best possible compact phone, then it is still the Sony after all. But if it's worth paying almost double for maybe like 10-20% of an overall better experience is something that only you can decide. But I hope I helped you to figure that out on your own. Okay, this was it. I hope you liked it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and other than that, questions or anything else in the comments, and I wish you a nice day. Bye.